What's up, party people? I cannot talk already. It's been 3 seconds and I fucked up. Welcome to the first ever PADCAST.
PADCAST! The Pad!
Reeves has been clamoring for this for so long. Basically, since y'all moved back. Yeah. He's like, PADCAST, get Percy, doing the podcast.
He literally PADCASted you to leave. You left because you had PADCAST.
He wouldn't shut up until he was like 15 minutes.
I was like, we were like, is he coming back? He did not come back.
He does never come back.
Do you know what episode number we're on? Because I have no idea.
7. Wait, 8. 7.
Welcome to episode either 7 or 8. This will be edited in post.
No.
Of the Simp Station Internet Football Podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're here. I'm Travioli, as always. 4-2, 420.
4-2.
Directly in the middle of a background investigation. It's lit. As always, with my constant co-host, Alec Wyatt.
It's me. I got a pretty big dub to get back to 500, and I helped Travis with his background shit. And yeah,
I'm not supposed to clap. We're working on some audio issues, so hopefully this doesn't sound like shit.
It's fine.
And 3-3, the highest scoring team from this week. It is Christina Beans.
The best beans.
The best beans. I have officially won as many weeks this week as I did last year. So, feels good.
Hopefully,
feels really good.
Hopefully you win more than you did last year. It'd be really unfortunate.
I think I still have yet to play Admiral, so I'm good. Oh! Oh!
You're not supposed to clap.
I'm supposed to clap.
Oh my god damn, that was
okay, this is going fantastically. Also, we normally have notes.
We don't really have
notes.
So we're kind of just...
We're winging it.
We just won $30 in tribute. I mean, it feels pretty good.
Travis got the dub.
Travis got the dub. All right. It was a pretty low-scoring week this week in fantasy. One team did set the record for lowest score of the year. We're not going to mention who that was. But what stood out to you guys this week? Fuck off.
That matchup between Reeves and that guy who won was pretty cool.
Oh, the guy with Eno Benjamin
and Travis Etienne
and Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier.
I definitely should have started over Isaiah McKenzie because he only got 1 point.
Oh, it was...
Still won, though.
I'm sure Reeves is really happy about being the third highest scoring team and losing.
That always feels the worst.
I think he's happier about being Sharksy's Simp.
I mean, we all know this is what he really wanted in life. True. This is his true identity. Like,
it just took him a while to get there. It's understandable.
Yeah, he's like
takes time.
I know y'all don't watch a lot of anime, but there's this thing called a tsundere, and it's basically someone who's an asshole because they like the person. That's Reeves. He's a complete cunt to Sharksy because he just really, really wanted to sell.
Oh my, Becca, you better watch out.
Yeah, she's Mr. Stilio Man.
Mr. Stilio Man.
Yeah, I mean, Steele somehow got a win this week while scoring 75 points. That was pretty impressive. I think he's the lowest scoring winner.
Yep.
78 was the previous record. So, way to go, Steele. Although he still leads the points for by like 20. So, I guess it's kind of deserved.
Yeah.
Dude's killing it. He
was due for an easy win, which he got from.
Yeah, I mean, I think another game I think is pretty interesting. Spencer is kind of the sleeper team this year. I feel like he's the least talked about, probably because he doesn't make waiver transactions and doesn't interact with Discord. But he is probably the least talked about team. He is tied at 4-2.
Yeah, you guys have him ranked really high, but since the beginning of the season, he's kind of
our 11th ranked team is first. The rankings aren't. I ranked you 9th.
So
clearly, these rankings are not the best.
I'm number 6.
Our
good.
Our power rankings are the best power rankings ever done.
This man fucked.
All printer, no fax.
But yeah, I think Spencer's is fax, no printer. I think Spencer's a sleeper team. You know? And Yeah, I think Beans is also coming out as a sleeper team. She did commit really unspeakable acts to Becca's team this week.
Yeah, that was a blowout, but it happens.
Yeah.
Agnells is still in the basement, so we can laugh at him, and he'll still be the punching bag for now. But we have the Battle of the Bottom coming up this week. We'll talk about that later.
Well, if they don't play any players, it's going to be a tie.
We'll have our first ever tie.
I mean, I don't know if that counts as a win trade because like they're both trying to trade it away. That's like a win white elephant, like where everyone's just throwing in a gift into the pile, and everyone gets something shittier than they put in.
Yep.
Thanks, Grandma.
Let's see who else.
Shitty $3 lottery ticket. When I put in a bottle of vodka, how rude. And finally, we have Sharksy and Banglewood were our other two winners. Banglewood and Biz was a really close game.
Yeah, he won by 7.
Yeah.
So
still low scoring. Sharksy's still doing it.
Sharksy's still number one
team until she takes a fat L this week. But we'll get to that. The dish boy. Dish me. But yeah, I mean, anything else from this past week before we get to our lovely award section?
Let's just get to the lovely award section.
I think we're ready to move
very
on
lovely.
to the
It's so
studs.
lovely.
It is lovely. Christina, who is your lovely stud of the week?
My lovely stud of the week is
Did you forget?
Andre Stevenson. Congratulations, Amelia. That was a trade that worked out really, really well for you. He was just a really good pickup. I mean, he almost doubled, I think, his projected Yahoo points. So
Further proving that Yahoo projections.
like over 20 points for that guy. So I mean,
Yep. He did
it was
get a
just
garbage
really
time touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So that definitely helped.
Yep.
And the Browns suck.
Yeah.
So that also helped.
yeah.
Their defense kind of lost most of the time. Just like looking at each other like, are you supposed to tackle this guy?
Yeah, I don't think is Myles Garrett back yet?
I think he came back.
Okay. Because he got in like a one-man car crash a few weeks ago.
Oh,
He just like ran into a pole or something.
Yeah.
And he flipped his car 4 times. Now he's just back on the field because superhumans. Wyatt, who's your stud of the week?
My stud of the week, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but my
As he
second
proceeds to toot his own horn.
my second round pick finally decided to show up. Jamar Chase got like 150 and 2 touchdowns, so felt pretty good to not have a shitty receiver on my team.
Yeah, your receivers were kind of cracked this week.
Yeah.
Pittman
I
finally.
don't know how that feels.
Pittman had like 10 catches, like 147 or something.
Yeah, I think they combined for like almost 50 points. That's a lot of
It was
points.
Pete Pog.
Yeah.
And then going along with that, Joe Burrow also had a really good week, but we can't give him stud of the week because he wasn't in the starting lineup.
Becca, what are you doing? You played Gino.
Gino.
Dude was cooking.
Oh, sweet.
You don't get it. He's the chef.
No, that's Russ. Let Russ cook.
Let Gino cook. He's cooking.
You ain't cooking anymore.
Yeah, fire.
Well, I'm going to be a total homer and say the stud of the week is Trevor Lawrence.
That's what I like to see.
2 rushing touchdowns for
Oh,
our
boy.
athletic 6'5" white boy. Christina's starting him, obviously. He's better than your early drafting quarterback by a lot.
Yeah, I basically drafted.
Cook.
He's benched.
Broncos Nation.
Let's ride.
Let's ride the bench.
I basically drafted Trevor Lawrence. It was like half a meme, so that meme's working pretty good for me at this point.
Yeah, generally the Jaguars are at least half a meme,
Yeah.
if not like 80%.
Full meme.
Yeah.
Like the Jags defense, right, Dalton?
That was like 110% meme.
I mean, Dalton's smurfing with that.
Yeah,
So-
smurfing with the -1 points he got this week.
Listen, the bigger meme is the bet that Baines made with Agnells about the Bills versus Chargers defense.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
with actual cash on the line. Bills defense is ranked 2nd before this week, and the Chargers were 30th in fantasy points.
Well, they just have so many injuries, so I mean,
The Bills also had a lot
The
of
Bills
injuries.
have their 2nd best player out for the year.
But that's okay. We don't talk about that. We're talking about studs here.
Anyone else have any honorable mentions for studs? I mean,
Mark Andrews kept being Mark Andrews. He got like
didn't, like-
another 20.
if he doesn't break 30 at this point, like him and Kelsey, if they don't break 30, it's like they're not even studs. They're just themselves.
Yeah, they're
it's
just...
like, go fuck yourself. I get it. Like,
Brees Hall was another one. Yeah. He had a really good game against the Packers.
Rookie of the year potential.
He definitely could be. Him and Dameon Pierce have looked pretty good so far. And then I think that was it. Oh, and then Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, but that's just them being them, like
on a weekly basis.
Yeah. So
all these people with good players, and Devontae Adams had his fucking bye week.
So who are we giving stud of the week to?
Drum roll, please.
I mean, it's probably not Trevor. But he's my stud in my what?
Me too.
Right. Is this a stud of heart song? Yeah. This might get my what. But he's probably not the stud. I mean, it's probably Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, we'll give it to Ramondre.
We'll give it to the Dre.
It's the first time someone with the name Ramondre has ever won an award, so it's okay. That's because it's uncommon.
Sharksy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but now
he's African American.
Now let's crush some fucking feelings with duds of the week.
Dud of the week.
Dud.
Who's your week, Beans? Or dud of the week? Not who's your week.
Who's your week?
Dud of the week.
Who's your week?
Oh no, my dud of the week is gotta be Herbert. Herbert, total dud on Monday Night Football. Primetime, just did not get it done.
Give us the stat.
The stat's so sad. He's had a touchdown pass in 27 consecutive games. And this was the breaking week. He did not get a touchdown pass, and that enabled Wyatt to win this week against Reeves, and it was really unfortunate. And so that definitely
I don't think
1,000%.
Definitely fortunate for you.
But
it was unfortunate.
One of my duds of the week is from my team, and it's Dallas Goedert. He finally had a bad week. He had like 3 points, and it almost cost me the matchup. But it didn't. What about you, Travis?
So there's kind of the whole thing of maybe not having a dud.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was Mike Evans. He did score 6 points. It's not horrible.
But you expect a lot more.
Yeah, Chris Godwin's coming off injury. You have Tom Brady. I mean, the offense has been kind of shit overall, so it's hard to blame him.
Yeah.
Mike Evans has been pretty bad, which is part of why Becca's struggling so hard.
I mean, is it too hard to blame Tom Brady when he's had all these personal issues off the field?
I think it's hard to blame Mike Evans.
Oh.
Yeah. With all the offensive line's been really bad. And Brady's like, I'm going to go to a wedding 2 days before the game.
Right. He went to the commissioner's wedding, right?
Yeah.
No, Robert Kraft, his old owner.
That's
old
right.
owner.
Team owner,
Yeah.
He got married. He's 81. He got married to a 47-year-old.
What a G.
And he still got in trouble 4 years ago for paying hookers.
Paying masseuses.
For a cheap happy ending.
Wow.
It was like $15.
He does it, gets away with it.
Old white men.
Ugh. If Deshaun Watson was white, he'd be free.
True.
Free Deshaun.
Free Deshaun.
It's always darkest.
No!
Anyways. Honorable mention, Tyler Lockett did pretty poor. I think he had like 1 catch for like 9 yards or something like that. J.K. Dobbins didn't do a lot before he re-aggravated his knee injury. And I'm going to have to call out Ag Mills for playing Taysom Hill. Because everybody knew he wasn't going to get 4 touchdowns again, dumbass. He got like 4 points.
Dummy. What a silly goose.
And he did drop Hunter Henry, who got a touchdown.
Yep.
And his other tight end also did better, I believe. He was the other tight end was Dawson Knox.
Also got a touchdown.
Yeah, got a touchdown.
His first of the year.
Yeah. The whole quarterback tight end thing, when they're not like actually that good, is kind of rough. Generally, starting good players seems like a good strat.
It helps you win, usually.
Yeah. Instead, Alex played Taysom Hill.
I mean, in Wyatt's case, playing bad players actually helped him win this week.
He played studs like Benjamin, Travis Etienne, and Tyler Allen.
So, I mean, it's a strategy that worked out for one, player.
It's just unfair.
And just not another.
I think
it's just built in.
I think Agnells should just continue to complain because it's so unfair.
It's not unfair. There are just consistent statistical anomalies that occur against him and Becca every single week.
Yes. Agreed.
Fine.
Do we move on to waiver? Wait, no, we need to pick a dud. A full... Who are we picking?
Nah, Mike Evans. I honestly forgot the research duds. That was just my brief... I was going to say Devin Duvernay because he's like the number one wide receiver on the team and he scored 1 point. But...
Yeah, that's true.
His quarterbacks are running back.
Herbert.
Yeah, I think it might have to be Herbert.
With the Monday Night Football choke, Herbert is not a bad one.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So are you guys saying that I got both the stud and the dud?
Yep.
Are you sure this just shouldn't be my podcast?
Oh, we're out of here.
All right.
Oh.
No.
All right, so it's Herbert.
Yeah, Justin Herbert is our dud of the week. Nice job, Reeves.
Proud of you.
You've got this, buddy. It's okay. You're 420 now. Anyone have any waiver wire pickups of the week?
I'm going to have to, again, toot my own horn. Because, mainly because right before the game on Sunday, I dropped Greg Joseph, the Minnesota kicker, and picked up Harrison Butker for the Chiefs. Greg Joseph got 3 points. Butker got 11. So that technically won me the matchup. And then also Eno Benjamin was a good pickup because he got 8 points, which isn't terrible. So I'm going to say that combo was my waiver pickup of the week.
Eno Benjamin was my thought. I mean, 8 points with how shitty the running backs have been outside of like the top few.
Mm-hmm.
8 points is pretty respectable. You know, especially when it's just like a throw-in solution to a massive hole in the roster. So my
massive
hole.
I'd have to agree. It's getting sort of later in the season, so you're not going to find, too many more diamonds in the waiver pickups. So I'd have to agree with those guys.
Yeah, there were barely any other ones that even started.
I don't even see any other ones.
Well, Devin Duvernay. With one catch.
Right.
No.
Yeah, 1 catch for 14 yards. Real good, Devin.
Clutch.
Saucy.
All
Lamar
right.
Jackson is not saucy. How about manager of the week? I'm going to start. I'm just going to say it.
Shucks.
It's the first time he's done something that required skill all year.
True.
And he started 2 waiver wire pickups in 1. I feel like that's pretty much a guarantee.
And it's not even that he just won. He scored a lot of points too.
Second scoring. It's pretty
Honorable
good.
mention to Beans for having the highest score.
Yeah, but his score doesn't do anything. All she did was take out Russell Wilson for Trevor Lawrence.
Big brain move.
That is I looked at numbers and put in good player instead of Russell Wilson.
True.
It's the hair for me, honestly. And also the Subway ad kind of creeped me out. Just a little bit.
And Trevor's Subway ads are way better.
Way better. And the Gatorade ads? The Gatorade ads for Trevor?
Run around with those kids.
It's I literally just the first time I saw it, I watched it on repeat.
It's so bad.
Actually, the first time
Finger wave, right? It's like,
the first time I heard it, it was on a podcast, and I heard it, and I was like, "This is so cringe." But I didn't see the visuals where it's literally just him sitting in a room. And I watched it, and I was like,
and there's no music or any. It's so.
and
awkward.
you hear the sounds of him chewing.
Oh god.
Remember that old GoDaddy ad with Danica Patrick where she made out with the dude in the ad?
Dude.
It was a Super Bowl ad. Danica Patrick, the female NASCAR driver.
Aaron Rodgers' old girlfriend.
Yeah, it was like her and some ugly dude on a bench just making out. It was 30-second commercial.
For
This was the most uncomfortable commercial I've seen since then. No cap.
Anyway, getting off
printers,
topic.
all
No,
that.
there's no such thing about that. This is hot topic. We're always on.
Hot topic.
Yeah, I mean, you guys ready to move on to the topic? Anything else you want to throw in for the memes?
I have nothing to throw.
That's all I got. I'm the manager of the week, baby.
Congrats.
He gets a crown victory royale.
Victory Royale. Yeah, Fortnite. We got it down.
Okay, our topic this week is we're doing comeback players. As you know, in honor of Beans not being shit this year.
Woo! Hey, it's still early. The jury's still out on that one. So
not shit so far.
Yeah, not shit through 6 weeks. Obviously, Beans went 3-11 last year in the regular season, which was a little rough. But luckily, we didn't have punishments.
That was fine. It was fine.
So, in honor of Beans joining the podcast, we are doing comeback players that were shit last year and are no longer shit. It's pretty damn simple.
It's that easy.
Start us off, Wyatt. Who is your comeback player? The first one you want to talk about.
First one I'm going to throw out to talk about is Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants.
Spencer's.
That was a great pick by Spencer. It was a rough couple of years for Saquon with injuries and just bad O-line play in front of him. And now this year he's basically the whole offense for the Giants. So he is my first comeback player.
I mean, they're literally a Super Bowl juggernaut. Because
5-1 New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I mean, he went from completely incompetent coaching with like Jason Garrett as his offensive coordinator to Brian Dable, who's like this coaching prodigy, it seems like.
And Ben McAdoo.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon was kind of in. Their O-line was terrible.
Yeah.
Their O-line's still not that good. I mean, Andrew Thomas is playing a lot better.
Yeah.
But they're definitely coaching around it. And like Saquon being healthy, plus just less bullshit around him. And their defense is really good. So it's all kind of working out for Saquon. He's popping off. Health is always going to be a question, though.
Yeah.
I remember when Spencer drafted him when we were at the cabin. I was questioning it. I was like, Saquon Barkley? Like, to me, he kind of seemed a little washed up, maybe on the downhill of his career. But, yeah, no, he's been great this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to the CMC situation where it's been a lot of injuries the past couple of years, so you're just scared to take him, but you know the talent is there, and his talent is showing this year.
I mean, speaking of CMC, I think he's an obvious candidate for this. He played like 2 or 3 games last year, full games. Obviously, being number one.
I just kind of have that portion of my life blacked out. Yeah, that's not really in my memory anymore. Yeah. I just know it makes me sad to think about. So.
Yeah, in the previous 2 years before this year, I think he played like 5 full games or something like that, and now he's played 6 obviously this year, and he's pretty much back to the old CMC. Whether the Panthers are actually going to use him or not is
he's on the trading block, right, for them.
Yeah, I think they're asking for too much. He's a running back,
and he's old now. He's
26. He's close. Yeah, 28, 29 is that like really age?
Yeah, that's the age cliff, but he's doing really well this year.
Yeah, and unlike Saquon Barkley, he has even more bullshit around him than he ever has. The O-line's gotten worse and worse. Their rookie left tackle has not been very good.
Coaching situation.
Coaching's horrible.
That team is terrible.
The quarterback is as bad, if not worse, than the coaching.
Was this last week their new coach's first week, and they didn't?
And they lost.
Yeah, usually when that happens, you guys were talking about how usually
you can get a boost from an interim coach. It did not happen. They kind of got pooped on by the Rams, who also suck. Yeah,
they started off really well. Saquon Barkley had CMC had 50 yards on the first drive between the air and ground, and then the Rams were kind of like, wait, they can't do anything except throw to CMC, and everything just went downhill. So CMC's still popping off despite the team just being complete garbage.
I mean, he's definitely team-proof when he can stay healthy. It's just a matter of staying healthy.
For sure.
Yeah. Beams, give us a comeback player.
My comeback player is also a running back like Wyatt's and Travis's, and it is my very own Miles Sanders. So didn't really do well last year, didn't get a lot of TD looks, and this year it seems that even with Jalen Hurts being a rushing QB, they're still going to Miles Sanders in the red zone, so that's really nice to see, especially since he was a trade acquisition for me, and I was in desperate need of a good running back. And so, yeah, he's like basically my pride and joy at this point.
Yeah. I mean, last year, I think he got to 1,000 yards, but he did not have a single touchdown, yeah. So that made him it made him really hard to play in fantasy. And now this year, he's averaging a touchdown a game, so I mean, it's a pretty big comeback for him.
Yeah, he's had a couple bad games. I know he's had a 4-point week and a 7-point week, but all the other weeks are
those games are
pretty
going to
good.
happen.
Yeah, for sure.
The team is really weird because they kind of stall out in the second half. Mm-hmm. They score a bunch of points in the first half, and a lot of it's, depending on what their game plan is, it's just like a shitload of rushing yards, a shitload of passing yards, whatever they decide to do. And in the second half, they kind of just do nothing.
So go full turtle mode.
Yeah, it means like there's going to be players that just have mediocre weeks on that team because they just don't get used in the first half, and then no one gets used in the second half. But he's been, it turns out having a touchdown is pretty nice.
It's helpful. It helps just a little bit. I wouldn't know what those were last year, but.
Right, give us another one.
Speaking of the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is, I think, either the 2 or 3 quarterback on the year this year. And last year he wasn't terrible because he had a lot of rushing yards and rushing touchdowns that inflated his stats, but he wasn't great. And this year he's been great for me, and it's pretty pog.
Definitely a breakout player.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's kind of tough, though, because he actually was really good in fantasy last year. I think he was like around 10th. And he's definitely gotten better.
Wait, overall or for QBs?
For QBs. Which pretty much means overall. Outside of the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think his improvement has been less about fantasy points and more like when you watch the game, he's just substantially better. Mm-hmm. But because I think he's running less. It feels like he's running less, like he's less reliant on it. And so they, I guess the fantasy improvement, it's there for sure, but it's not as dramatic as some of the other players we listed.
Yeah.
But like on the field, he's so much better.
Yeah, it's like night and day from last year. He throws a lot less interceptions, makes a lot better decisions. So I guess it's more of just a normal football comeback breakout player rather than fantasy because he was pretty good in fantasy last year.
But it counts. It's fine.
Well, still counts.
You got another one?
Yeah, I had a quarterback I mentioned earlier, Trevor Lawrence.
Really?
17 interceptions last year to only 12 touchdowns. Well, he was horrible. I mean, there's no.
It was really bad.
He wasn't very good. The coaching was, he as bad of a situation as anyone's ever had. His head coach was
arguably worse than the Panthers this year.
Probably. It was just terrible all around. And this year last time I checked, he was 7th quarterback, 7th or 8th.
Yeah, I think he's still 7th.
He's got a few rushing touchdowns, which definitely helps.
And he's pretty, so that helps.
And he's gorgeous.
Look at that.
It's a Clemson. Perfect.
Oh my God, Clemson.
Yeah, he went from why does any non-Jags fan have him on a fantasy roster to
startable.
Yeah, I mean, by the numbers, he is a starter.
Yeah,
like he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yep,
at least in fantasy this year.
I mean, I drafted him thinking that I would never play him. Russ doesn't get hurt a lot. The situation that he was going to for the Broncos was predicted to be really good. He had good weapons and stuff at Denver, and total flop. So it's been amazing to have a really solid backup, and he's been amazing. So yeah,
that's our boy.
Hype.
Yeah, it's P hype.
All right, last one for me is like complete surprise out of left field for most people, I think, and that's Geno Smith.
Oh yeah,
like this dude was terrible when he was on the Jets. And then just fell off the face of the earth. I didn't even know what team he was on for a long time. And then Russell leaves the Seahawks, and now he's like a top 5 fantasy QB this year.
He's actually been on the Seahawks for a while now.
Yeah, he was their backup, right?
Yeah, he keeps signing 1-year contracts as the backup to just stay with the Seahawks. I think this is his 4th contract. But yeah, it's definitely a huge change from when he got benched for punching his teammate for his teammate punching him in the face. Yeah. Over $50.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like a few $100. But yeah, have you heard about that?
No, I don't know the story.
His teammate IK Nkampale, I think his name was,
that's a name.
Asked Geno to come to his charity event, and Geno said, "Yeah." And IK is like, "I'll pay for your plane ticket." So he buys him the plane ticket. Geno doesn't show up, and then IK asks for the money. Like, "I paid for your ticket." And then Gino's like, "No, I'm not giving it to you." And I broke his jaw.
I mean, that's fair.
You deserve that, Gino.
And that season, they benched Gino got his jaw broken, so he couldn't play. They started Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wait, the punch broke his jaw?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
And Fitzmagic started.
Fitzpatrick started at 10-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's an Amazon announcer.
Yeah,
so.
but that was the Jets' best season in a while when they benched Gino.
Well, now they're a juggernaut. So Super Bowl favorite. You heard it here first. Jets to win it all. Hot take.
That's when they're, I think, third in Super Bowl odds in their division. That is really hot. That is a really hot take.
Bigly hot.
Actually, they may be behind the Dolphins. They could be fourth in Super Bowl. But yeah,
Alex triggered.
Yeah, Gino's. He's not as good as Joe Burrow, Beckham. So don't do that anymore. But he's that, and he's like good. It's like how do you become good?
It's
I would maybe consider it if it was a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals are a pretty bad matchup. Quarterbacks generally have good days against them.
Yeah.
Unless you're Derek Carr, the week I start him. But
that's fair, dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good.
It's always good to see people make a comeback and live up to the hype that they once had.
Yeah, everyone loves a comeback story, so it's really awesome to see.
My final one is Josh Jacobs. I think he's more in the Jalen Hurts category where he's been good in fantasy, mostly because they just use him in the goal line, or like they use him in the red zone.
Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah. He's running back. I mean, out of Alabama, people are like, this dude is legit. He was like a top 20. He was around like the 20th, 21st pick in the draft, and they use him a bunch, and then his usage kind of just slowly fell off. I think his highest number of carries in the last couple of years is like 230. He's at 91 already this season, so he's going to hit that. But his yards per carry has gone up by I think 2 whole yards. He's definitely, the fantasy may not be there, but I wanted to, give myself the old backpack.
And a lot of people.
This is very natural.
He
said, "Please stop it. Please stop it."
A lot of people coming into the year thought that maybe because of Josh Jacobs wouldn't get a lot of carries because in New England.
I'm trying to sync it up, but Travis is being
I was trying to go off. Were we going?
Because in New England, they always did running back by committee, so people were saying Josh Jacobs was not going to be it, and Travis was like, "No, this dude's legit."
And it's sometimes you look at these running back by committees, like when they're in Denver, when they keep running Melvin Gordon over Javonte Williams, and you look at it like Josh Jacobs, Brandon Bolden. I wonder which one I'm going to run, and my gut is always like they have to choose the right answer, right? Yeah, and sometimes they don't. I think I got a little lucky that they did. I mean, he was definitely like a high ceiling, low floor kind of pick. I was also a little scared about the offensive line, but they haven't been that bad. Especially they've been decent in the run game.
Yeah. Raiders' defense has been bad.
I mean, it's also just the division that they're in. It's tough, but.
Well, we thought it was going to be tougher with the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the Chargers.
I mean,
it's just the Chiefs.
The Raiders are 1-5, and they could be the second best team in the division.
Yeah.
And
everyone was anticipating them to be the worst, in my opinion. I had them at the bottom of that division. Yeah. I had the Chargers.
I had them at the bottom, but I didn't have them being as bad as they are.
I mean, yeah, they had the fourth lowest playoff odds, or the lowest playoff odds of the four, but their over and under at the beginning of the season was 6.5 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, people genuinely thought that there was a good chance that all four of those teams made the playoffs.
Yeah,
that would have been
not happening.
That is definitely.
It's not happening.
Broncos country. Let's ride home in early January. And on that, anyone have any more to mention before we close it out and start talking about this coming week?
Nope.
The week to come.
So.
I mean, y'all have a pretty exciting matchup. It's inter-couple rivalry.
The bean.
You're going down.
It's a bean duel.
There's no way I'm sitting my best player this week.
The bean bowl.
It's the bean bowl.
It's the bean bowl. Aww.
Well, I have some free agents to pick up because I don't have a backup quarterback. My quarterback is on the bye week, so
You did great.
I struggled for a second there for some fucking reason. So I got to pick up quarterback. I got to pick up a defense because the Rams are also on a bye. Hopefully Eno plays on Thursday and James Conner's out because my running backs still suck ass.
I mean, I feel like that's a good sign for me when you're saying, hopefully Eno plays. I mean, that has to be a good sign for me, right? I mean, he didn't pop off last week or anything.
No.
But,
right?
Okay, what will you do if you lose to Alex, starting Eno Benjamin?
I will officially become the second Sharks and Simp. Like,
third. Kyle's the first.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, for
Kyle's
sure.
the OG Simp.
Like, those second fantasy Sharksy Simp, like, changing my PFP, it's probably going to be the same one as Reeves has, because I kind of like it.
That'd be good. It's a cult.
Yeah.
Simp Army.
Yeah, really, yeah.
The Sharksy
And,
Simp Army.
yeah, so, I mean, 1,000% would absolutely just...
I think y'all should bet on this game.
What are we betting?
I don't know, but y'all need to bet. We need to bet on the podcast. We can say that we can think about it at the end.
Yeah.
But we need like some kind of bet.
Can it be like a tease?
A tease.
Like for the podcast, like a podcast tease? Like for next week?
Don't do that with your iPad.
While you're saying tease.
A tease. Just look at me. She goes, a tease? Like, please, no. No.
Yeah, we'll come up with a bet by the end of the podcast.
Or if you don't, we can always post it in Discord before Thursday.
Like, no, for next week's podcast, it could be... Well, no. That
Well,
would...
we're not gonna have repeat guests.
That's fair, dog.
You can make
That's in a pretty bad
Wyatt's
guess.
side. He has to do the whole podcast in a clown costume or something like that.
That'd be hot. I mean, that'd be...
No comment. Wyatt's
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely one of the best. You two were the highest scoring teams this week, and you're both like in that middle of the pack, looking to burst into the top.
We're on the up and up.
Because like realistically, I think there's two more spots. Because I think I'm going to start plummeting down. And I think there's two more people in that 3-3 group that can kind of get up to the top. And I think one of y'all will most likely be.
Hopefully.
Right now, my money would be on Beans.
Suck it, bitch!
Sonny said.
Yeah, it was rude. No mercy.
You don't have T-Law. What can I say?
Yeah, that's true.
What can I say except you don't have T-Law?
There we go. Any other matchups y'all find interesting this week?
Definitely Becca and Agnes.
The battle of the bottom.
Yeah, 1,000%. That's the matchup.
With
from last
nobody
night.
in the lineup.
Yeah, at the time of recording, neither has a starter.
Are they just like doing it so that it's like the anticipation is what? Who are they going to play?
I
in the
think.
lineup?
Well, I know that Becca, before trivia today, was in her car talking to Agnos about fantasy. So I'm pretty sure that's when they decided to make this change. If it stays, there's going to be some issues.
Yeah, that would be
But
something.
who do you think, assuming best lineup is in, who do y'all pick for this? Because I think this is an important game for both. Like really, really important.
My money is on Becca. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think I would
For
lean
sure.
towards Becca. I would say if Jonathan Taylor is back for her, even though he's been bad, I feel like once he comes back, he's such a good player, and it seems like the Colts have figured it out a little bit that I think he'll go back to at least being startable. And then Fournette's been really good. Kareem Hunt maybe finds an end zone. I don't know. I just really don't like... Every time I'm looking for a trade and I go to Agnel's team, I just
Right. Yeah.
instantly go to the next team.
Yeah, it's
because
not
it's so
even
bad.
that like Becca has an overwhelmingly better team. It's that when you look at Agnos, you just question how he could secure a dub.
See, I was thinking Agnos was the favorite.
Interesting.
With Jeff Wilson Jr. and MG3.
JWJ's been good every week except for this week.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon's been sus.
I'm just a JWJ hater.
But I think he had other options besides Gordon to play.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got Singletary on a bye.
I mean, and Hill, like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
the issue is, Singletary's on bye, so his depth's a little weak.
Eckler's been carrying his team.
And Matt Stafford's on bye. Carson Wentz is his other quarterback, who is out.
Yeah. He had
Meaning
thumb surgery, right?
Yeah.
Meaning he does not have a quarterback currently.
Except Taysom Hill.
Except Taysom Hill. Now, he does have top waiver player.
That is true. As he has.
So we know, Matt
the whole
Ryan,
season.
Marcus Mariota are two that I think he would probably look towards.
Yeah.
I'd say Matt Ryan.
But I really think that whoever gets at quarterback is probably going to determine who wins this matchup because the rosters are so close.
Yeah. I will say Burrow is playing Atlanta this week, and they've been not great against opposing quarterbacks, so that should be good for Burrow.
And with Jamar Chase, doing well this past week, I mean, there's, they could have another breakout. They might be righting the ship. That's been kind of troublesome for them.
Agreed.
I think Reeves versus Benglewood is also a pretty good matchup.
For sure.
Benglewood's he has the hardest schedule in the league. He's definitely in the bottom. He's towards the bottom in points.
Benglewood does?
Mm-hmm. But he has had the hardest schedule. Reeves is on a 2-game slide. And he's missing Dalvin Cook this week and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's tough.
Yeah,
That's his first 2 draft picks.
Right. This is a big week for Alex, for Benglewood. He's lucky that Tyreek Hill has been good no matter who the quarterback is. His team is really solid. Except Christian Kirk's kind of inconsistent, which is weird because he didn't look like that. But he's not missing any starters.
Yeah.
So I think if Benglewood can secure a dub this week, that's pretty huge. I think he's 2-4 right now.
No, he's 3-3.
Oh, he's still okay.
3-3.
So he could definitely be the other team to get up in that pack. I think his depth is really questionable, but his starters are really solid.
Yeah.
And if he beats Reeves this week, he'll have the same record as Reeves.
That's how close the whole league is.
Yeah. So I think that matchup's going to be really interesting. At the same time, Justin Herbert's against Seattle. That could be good. DeAndre Hopkins could be really good.
I think he's probably going to be really good, especially with Hollywood going out.
Hollywood.
So he's going to get a lot of targets.
Well, this week they're against Marshall Lattimore, which is never an easy match, and he's good against bigger receivers.
That's true.
Plus, you never know what the rust. People coming off rust.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was injured, so I don't know. I could easily see this going either way. Let's pick it. I'm going to pick Benglewood. I'm going to say it's going to be 103-98.
Let's see. I'm going to have to lean just because Reeves has his first 2 draft picks out. I'm going to also lean Benglewood. I'm going to go final score of 111.11 to 99.99.
I am picking Reeves. I think that after a really bad primetime loss with Justin Herbert and also the Packers coming off a bad game, I think that both those teams are going to come back in a big way. And Breece Hall's been amazing. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been pretty good. He got hurt, but I think
before that he was really good.
Yeah, I think he was a surprise at how good he was doing the first few weeks. And so I'm picking Reeves to win. I don't think that either of these teams will meet their Yahoo projections currently. I think it's going to be probably a little bit lower of a score. I'm going to say Reeves has 98 points to Benglewood's 95, but pretty close game.
Yeah, it's so important for the standings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other one that I saw that I think is really important is actually Spencer versus Dalton. Spencer's trying to push himself into that elite echelon. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think if he wins this week and gets over 100 points, he's probably a top, especially if Reeves loses, Spencer's top 3 team for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably in the top 4 unless he gets slaughtered this week by Dalton. And Dalton really needs a win. He's 2-4 right now, and what did BYU say on the podcast? Losses add up, but wins multiply. Yeah. There's not much multiplication going
on.
Wise words.
Very wise words.
Very.
Right, yeah. I still don't get it.
I think that's the point. That's what makes it wise, is because the unwise don't understand.
Yeah, I guess I just...
BYU's just built diff.
Male brain, honestly.
But I will say, Spencer...
Smooth brain.
My brain is like a marble.
To BYU's many ridges and gyri and sulci. See, I'm big brain because I know what the words are.
Jesus Christ.
But,
I understand, BYU. I understand it.
Spencer is starting some sus receivers. Cortland Sutton has not been great just because the Broncos' offense sucks.
Let's brag.
And he has Tyler Boyd as his wide receiver too.
Who?
Which is It's the third wide receiver for the Bengals.
Who?
I mean, A.J. Brown is...
A.J. Brown's on a bye, so that hurts him. And he's also playing a tight end in his flex, which does not happen very often.
I will say, I think Cortland Sutton's been one of the few pieces that's consistent in that offense. He hasn't popped off. But this was his first week. I think this was his first week below 9 points.
Yeah, it was.
And so, 9 points is not great for your wide receiver one, but it could be a lot worse.
And it did seem like the Broncos were starting to maybe figure it out. Yes, they did lose, but I don't know. To me, it kind of looked like a better game than, some of their earlier games this season. So, I mean, with new head coach, rookie, targets and stuff, it might have just taken them, the first half of the season to really start popping off. So,
I mean, Spencer should have this mostly because Dalton's team is pretty bad.
It is another team where you look at it and you just instantly go to the next team.
I know Alex Pierce scored this week at the end to bring up his rating, but he was pretty invisible the entire game.
It was all Pity City.
It was Pittman. It was the tight end that Devin White was covering the whole game, and it was that dumbass fucking running back. But yeah, I think Pierce is
Jackson.
I don't
that guy.
I wouldn't project Pierce to have more than 4 points.
Yeah, same.
Unless he gets a random touchdown.
Can't predict touchdowns.
And I mean, Dalton's roster is just one of the weaker ones we have.
And then the last matchup that we haven't talked about yet is our boy.
Well, there's two more actually.
Oh wait, there's another one.
Biz versus Steele.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that one.
It's hard because I don't know who she's going to start at wide receiver one. JJ's out.
Yeah,
which is a huge part of Biz's. What decides if Biz gets a win or a loss?
Well, she has T. Higgins on the bench, and he should be playing this week, so I would assume he'll be her wide receiver. Does Steele have any buys? Steele has Devontae Smith on a bye and Kirk Cousins, but he doesn't usually play Kirk Cousins.
I would say this is an easy
And then the Eagles' defense.
It is looking like an easy steal win.
Yeah.
I know without JJ in the lineup, the projection is like a 25 points to steal.
And Biz's QB options are a little sus because it's either Jared Goff against the Cowboys.
Well, isn't Dak coming back this game? I thought that this week is Dak's return.
Yeah.
So
actually, I forgot about that. So yeah, if he comes back, it's a lot better.
It's Dak against the Lions, which could be huge.
Yeah. But if he doesn't come back, then it's either Jared Goff against the Cowboys or Jimmy G against the Chiefs.
I think you play Jared Goff no matter what.
Yeah, probably.
I'm never starting Jimmy Garoppolo if I have a choice. I don't know, but that's
Yep.
I don't. This kind of needs the win. She's really struggling. I think she started 2-1 and she's now 3-3. So this will bring.
Biz is 2-4. She lost to Bengal and she's 2-4.
Yeah. But I do think, this could be a bad week. Steele's getting people without their best player 2 weeks in a row, which is very fortunate.
Player gap.
It's a player differential. And, the last matchup is me versus Sharksy.
Speaking of getting players people with players missing, their best players.
Turns out, getting to play Sharksy when she doesn't have Gabe Davis,
Josh Allen, Cooper Kupp.
I'm still picking Sharksy.
That is fucking crazy.
I'm simping early.
All right, that's going to do it for the...
she's starting Daniel Jones as her quarterback.
Easy dub. Dude, the Giants... Super Bowl?
They're playing the Jaguars. They're going to get shit on.
Do you know who her second running back is? I've never heard of it.
It's Rashad White. He's the rookie for the Bucks behind...
Wasn't White on the Patriots or something like that? Wasn't he?
That's James White. He retired.
I've never heard of Rashad White.
He's a rookie.
I had him back.
I had
behind
him
a high usage back.
Yeah, I had him on my roster briefly earlier in the year, and then I realized he's never going to play.
Yeah. So it looks good.
Luck with that.
I'll find a way to lose.
Whoever she needs.
Honestly, at this point, you watch your fucking mouth. I will veto it.
Veto! And this guy, the veto whore, you're a slut for vetoes.
True. Give me all the vetoes. Except the one trade that should have gotten vetoed, the Breece Hall DJ Moore trade.
That was
all you mongrels didn't vote.
I don't veto. I let chaos ensue.
Anyway,
I think that is going to close out the
What about our bet? What are we
betting? Come up
betting?
with something?
No. Does it look like I can think about several different things at the same time based on
by Thursday at 12 a.m. or Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. They will have a bet in Discord. I'll pin it
for the Bean Bowl.
For the Bean Bowl. Hopefully, Bean's punishment for Wyatt if he loses has to do with the podcast, so that next week we get to just have Wyatt looking like an idiot.
I mean, I like just he has to do it without a shirt on.
I like that too.
I think everyone would like that.
All right. That is going to close out. You're such a zoomer. Jesus Christ.
Zoom.
That is going to close out the PADCAST.
The first PADCAST.
I think it's really awkward thing when I have to get up to the camera to actually turn it off. So I'm going to get really close.
Stop it, Travis. Stop. You're scaring them.
It's time to stop.
Bye.